everyone that's gone looking for this money, never been heard from again.
Sounds dangerous.
Hi, Javier. Your unique physical attributes have led you to a super successful career as a creature actor in horror. You stand at 6'7". You often play really cool creatures and ghosts and demons and other monstrous characters, leveraging your natural flexibility, your flexible joints, and uncanny contortions. What can you tell us about creature performing, your process, your preparation, and the psychology of bringing these non-human characters to life?
I always loved this kind of creatures since I was a child, and I went to cinema. I paid special attention always to these creatures because maybe because my body was different. I was very tall, very skinny, as you tell us. Um, and I always felt so close to aliens and and then I always pay special attention. I was always drawing and with clay shaping creatures. I was always very conscious of my body and playing always like in my bathroom after taking a shower or wherever, like playing and moving and so I always loved this kind of create different things, bodies, and when I started working on that, it's like I was with a lot of work done already done. So it's for me it's like playing playing like a child and well, for me it was a dream to be playing these kind of creatures. I never thought when I was young that finally I were uh, bringing to life these kind of creatures, but it's a kind of a game for me, and it's a magic pleasure to become real the dream of working for cinemas, so for movies.
So you've portrayed such roles as Tristana Medeiros. I just want to say Rec is my favorite found footage movie to this day. I'm still obsessed with Rec. And you've also played in Mama, The Mummy, Slender Man, The Crooked Man, so many of these awesome characters. What do you think for you is the most difficult creature role that you've ever played and why?
Wow, the most difficult. Always there's a lot of things to like problems to save, and but it's always so fun. So of course, Mama was one of the most hard to do because we've been like a lot of time working, a lot of months, and making a lot of scenes. And Andy Muschietti is a very exigent director, and we were repeating a lot of takes. But for example, Mama, oh no, I mean Rec, the Medeiros girl, was only one day, was everything. All my scene was done in one day in the first movie. So it was not much time, but was a very long day and was very hard too. So I guess if you speak about one day, Rec was very hard, but it was only one day. But I think Mama, and I can speak about one role that I did in Winnipeg, in Canada, in a movie called Devil's Gate, and I played a beautiful alien, and that was very hard because it was a almost one piece suit. It was like two pieces, but was like a bio suit, a white one, very heavy. I was totally blind. I was almost deaf. So it was very hard to play every day like 10 hours totally blind, and that was one of the most hard characters I played,
Yeah, I
I
guess that
think.
kind of brings me to my next question. Like playing these distinctive characters, and using your natural physique, but also practical effects to bring these characters to life. How do you kind of collaborate with VFX, to make the creatures feel real? Like, what are the key differences working with a character that's, say, full VFX versus one that's mostly CGI?
For me as a fan, as uh, a fan of movies, I always loved always to feel something is real. The makeup, the prosthetic, the classic style, and as a performance, I love to feel when I'm playing something. I love to feel the creature when I see in the mirror and everything is there. It helps me so much to get into the role. But yes, of course, sometimes I have some different parts in green or with trackers, and that's okay. Sometimes it's for good, it's for better. Sometimes I think I don't need that, but always can help, and I'm happy with that. But sometimes I work too without makeup at all, only with trackers, and is harder because it doesn't the makeup helps you to get into the role, and when you have that and you are in a green screen, you feel a bit out of the role and you need to concentrate and do it in different way. It's so different. And for me, when I see the result, it's I'm not there. In one part, yes, part of this is my movement, but I don't feel like I'm not there very much. So yes, of course, everything for the good of the movie, it's good, but I rather to make it real, rather so much.
And in Do Not Enter, playing the pale creature, he's a supernatural and menacing entity in this abandoned hotel. True to your style, the creature's depicted as tall and terrifying, and he kind of moves in the shadows and the ceilings, and he crawls and runs. What can you tell us about his backstory, his motivations, and his abilities and his past?
Well, it's always so good for a monster performance, and for every actors, every performance, when you have a story, a background that helps you to create this psychology of, because I need to do everything with my body, but I it helps very much when you have clear uh, the intentions, the reasons that makes you act how you act. And in this movie, you have a human story very clear about why is doing what is he's doing, and yes, it's a horrible creature, but it's a human. It's a human that decided to sell in one way his soul to demon, to the evil, because of a big love. This because some things very human that he lost his wife, and there are some similarities of some of the roles in the movie that are looking for his loves, and well, I think it makes more human the creature, and it helps to create, for example, in Mama, when you know the story of the mama that loves his daughter, um, and she's like aggressive, but only defending what she loves, and it's different. The point of your aggression, so your aggressivity is it's nice to have a story, a background that helps you.
And with this role, how do you think the costume, the suit, whatever effects were used kind of enhanced your performance? And what were some of the challenging, like physical movements for this character in particular?
Yeah, and this makeup was not a problem. Was so light because it was make it very peculiar because it looks like basic because it's so liso, how to say, it's not very complicated
Mhm.
in texture, and it have no much pieces of prosthetics, but the color and everything is so soft, like crystal, like yeah, like porcelain or something like that. But it's so light. It's a bit of color and some little pieces of prosthetic. So for me, it was so light. I felt all the time so light, and it gives you a lot of freedom. Sometimes I was with a lot of pieces in the makeup that I told you in Devil's Gate was so heavy, so uncomfortable, and blind, and it makes everything so hard. But in this movie was a bit easier, was more comfortable. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Javier, for taking the time. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.